French President Emmanuel Macron is set to declare a state of emergency in New Caledonia, and this for the first time in almost 40 years. At least 2 people were killed there during a second day of rioting. That's after France's National Assembly approved changes to voting rules in the Pacific Island. We're going to talk about all of this now with Delano D'Souza, who joins me on set. Delano, let's start first with this vote. What was it about exactly?
Well, Jeannie, the reason tensions are so high over in New Caledonia is because of this vote which took place yesterday in the French National Assembly. This after a bill was passed over in the French Senate. Now, what it does is essentially approves voting changes in the French overseas territory. We had 351 votes in favor, 153 opposed. Those who oppose tend to come from the far left of the political spectrum here in France, and they are warning the government, the Macron government, that they risk civil peace in New Caledonia. So why we're seeing this uptick in violence? Well, essentially because voting rights on the overseas territory has always been a thorny issue. New Caledonia is one of the biggest overseas territories for France, and Paris uses it as an example to demonstrate that it too is a power in the Indo-Pacific. Now, the Kanak people of New Caledonia have often scoffed at rule from mainland France. In 1998, as part of the Noumea Accord, Paris agreed to give New Caledonia more political power and limit voting in provincial elections to the territory's residents. But what we've seen happen since 1998 is around 40,000 French citizens move to New Caledonia. And what Paris wants to see happen now as part of this bill, which was voted on in the parliament yesterday, is to have residents who have lived in New Caledonia for a decade, give them the right to vote in provincial elections. That could essentially mean we have 25,000 new voters on the electoral rolls in New Caledonia. The Kanak people, who make up around 40% of the population of New Caledonia, say they have seen their rights eroded as well as their land taken away. And this is why we're seeing essentially these scenes of violence break out in New Caledonia. In 2021, there was an independence referendum which failed. Essentially, the pro-independence movement boycotted the vote and then subsequently rejected the outcome. Now they're calling for a new vote, and authorities here in Paris are calling for calm and dialogue. So we could potentially see a new text on the table if there is at all this dialogue that ever does take place.
Delano, all of this comes as Paris is also trying to see laws changed in another French department, Mayotte.
Exactly. Now, Jeannie, firstly, we should tell you where Mayotte is because not everyone may know where it is. It's a tiny little island there you can see in the Indian Ocean, sandwiched between Madagascar and Comoros. Now, Mayotte became a French department in 2011. So what does that mean? So essentially, the people in Mayotte have the same rights as those here in mainland France. According to the government data, 1 in 2 residents in Mayotte is a foreign national. Now, most of the foreigners who have residence permits only for Mayotte. They cannot come to mainland France. They can't even visit mainland France without a special visa to come here. What local authorities want to see happen is to clamp down on illegal migration, particularly from Comoros. So we could potentially have a text on the table. Local officials are studying it. Then the French cabinet will take a look at this text. But what we can expect to see is extremely tough language when it comes to immigration and potentially the end of birthright citizenship. Currently, as things stand in Mayotte, children born in Mayotte have the right to apply for French citizenship once they become 18 years old, if they meet certain criteria. France wants to get done with that entirely because they want to limit the illegal flow of migration to Mayotte. We also have French gendarmes who are currently involved in an operation to clear these illegal migration camps that have been set up on the island. So far, only 250 illegal homes have been cleared, but the aim is to wipe out 1,300 illegal campments in Mayotte by the end of June.
Okay, Delano, thank you for that. Delano D'Souza.